Boro are attempting to hijack Birmingham City's move to bring back club hero Chuba Akpom. Holy shit. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I cannot believe I'm even thinking about this being a prospect, that this might even be happening. But Boro are apparently in advanced talks to re-sign Chuba Akpom from Hijack. From what I understand and from what we can gather, Boro have made a very late move and a late advance for our former striker. He, of course, netted 29 goals for us in that incredible, memorable season when we got to the playoffs back in 22-23 and had one of the most unbelievable redemption arcs I've ever seen in football, if I'm honest. But of course, he moved on and he's been linked back with a move to the Championship now. From what I can gather, he was on his way to Birmingham. He was going to have his medical. Everything was agreed. This was not a part of Boro's recruitment plan. This was not a part of what we wanted to do. This was not even in the pipeline, but the hierarchy at Boro, seemingly someone has made a last-gasp decision to basically go for this. And you've got to imagine it's come from the very, very top. And I'm going to be honest, there are a number of reasons as to why this could be absolutely awesome. There could also be a number of reasons why it also can't be. And I'm going to be honest, my head and heart are having an absolute war right now, because there are so many reasons that my head is telling me that this is not a good thing and it should not happen and Boro should not do this. But then my heart is also telling me a gazillion reasons why we should. So let's just have a look at the facts. And Scott Wilson dropped an article earlier on today giving the details of what on earth has happened and where the hell this has come from. It has absolutely dropped out of nowhere. So Boro are in advanced talks to re-sign Chuba Akpom from Ajax. After 2 years, of course, since he left for them, the Dutch club, the Echo understands Boro have put together an attractive deal to bring the 29-year-old back to the Riverside, but Rob Edwards' side will face battle against Championship rivals Birmingham City, who are also interested in the forward. Akpom was Boro's leading scorer in the Championship in the 22-23 season and is massively popular amongst fans. Of course, as we know that, he is hugely, hugely popular. I think we're a club that will live in his heart forever. And he was the first Boro player in pretty much 30 years to get more than 20 goals in a league campaign. In fact, he almost got 30, which was crazy. He completed a move to the Eredivisie back in 2023 in August, of course, for a reported €12.3 million. And he did say when he left, "I'll still be following the Boro from afar and wish everyone connected with the club all the very best in the future." Of course, he described Boro as a home. The people were extremely welcoming to him. He loved his time here. He was beloved, and I'm sure the fans would welcome him back with open arms. Now, as I said, there are so many reasons to why I think this would be a great thing, and maybe reasons as to why it wouldn't be. My heart and head are having the biggest tug of war right now. So I'm going to get my head out the way first, because my head is the most boring part. My head is full of love and romance as to why this should happen. My head is being the logical, grounded thing that is trying to tell me all the reasons why we should maybe not do this. The first is that, just for me, this is probably just an individual thing to me. I never, ever like second spells when it's football, when it comes to football, whether it's a manager returning for a second spell, a player returning for a second spell. I just never, ever get a good feeling about it. I feel like expectations are always raised based off of the first spell. Fans expect the same outcome, the same success again, and it rarely lives up to that very first spell. I mean, I guess the most recent example at Boro was Ryan Giles coming back, but I think you could kind of tell from his form, you could sort of see that it was always going to be incredibly unrealistic to expect anything like Ryan Giles to have reached the heights that he did back in 22-23. But I just always feel like it's an incredibly dangerous game to expect a player to come back and hit the heights, and normally it always leads to the fans being disappointed when the second spell for said player or manager does not live up to the hype of the first one. So that's always just a personal thing for me that always just makes me feel uneasy about these things. I just don't like second spells in football. There's then also a number of other things that you've got to question. You know, is it wise to recruit in this way? Is it wise to rule with the heart and not the head in transfer windows like this? I mean, from what we understand, unless Boro make a sale, money's not exactly there to burn at the minute, so spending money on a player who's just been at Ajax, for Christ's sake, he won't be cheap. It won't be easy. It won't be ideal. Will it fit into Boro's wage structure? Is it a sensible deal to do financially when arguably we've got other priority positions elsewhere? And then, of course, you've got a question, does he fit in Rob Edwards' system? Does he fit his style of play? Will he come in and just not fit? You know, I don't think it's ever going to be realistic for him to come back and score 20-plus goals like he did before. I just think it's just unlikely to happen. And does he even fit into what Rob Edwards wants? That's another huge question mark that you've got to ask. So there are plenty of reasons to why, and I guess red flags that my head is telling me that this is just not a good idea. And going back and relying on the past is never a good thing. You should always look to progress and go forward and move forwards. So my head is telling me all them reasons as to why this should not be a thing Boro should do. However, I would be lying if I said that my heart wasn't telling me the exact opposite, and my heart wasn't willing and wishing for this to happen and for Boro to pull off this signing and to see Chuba Akpom back in a Boro shirt. Because let's be honest, the buzz and the boost this would give everyone at the club, the fan base, would be absolutely huge. And the very least it can do is bring a real good mood and good vibe back to the club. And God, do we need it. You know, we're going into a season where we're feeling quite flat and apathetic with no real expectations. What the return of a player like Akpom would do to Boro's fan base, to the club, it would give us such a boost, it would be untrue. And we talk about whether it works financially, whether it works, you know, with the wage structure, with the setup, that's all valid. But at the same time, a boost like this, I mean, who knows where it could take you? Who knows what it could do, the knock-on effect that it could have in the other areas of the club? You know, Birmingham City themselves, who of course are the club we're competing with on this, they're one of the biggest examples of what can happen when a club gets that good feeling, that buzz, where the fans are on board, they're all excited and up for what's going on, and what that good feel, good vibe, and just general momentum can do for a football club. It can carry you quite far. Now, it can only carry you so far, but it certainly helps. And I feel like that buzz of a player like Akpom being back, it would do wonders for Boro's fan base for the season coming up, and it would just be an incredible story and scene to see him back in a Boro shirt. So I think for that reason, what have we got to lose? You know, for me, I'm not expecting Boro to do anything this season, so I wouldn't say we've got anything to lose. You know, honestly, what is there to lose with this deal? If it's a loan deal, which we believe it is, with an obligation to buy if promoted, Boro have got absolutely nothing to lose with this deal. The best case scenario is by some miracle he comes back and there is a big romantic story and he does lead Boro back to the Premier League, and we then obviously bring him back and buy him as we get promoted. Very unlikely, very unlikely. The worst case scenario is he goes back to Ajax after a loan deal and both parties move on. I mean, we'll see. I just think the low risk side of it as well is definitely something that I think Boro should look at, and is another reason why maybe this is a good idea. But let's hold our horses on this one, because I'm going to be honest, again, my head is probably coming back into the conversation here. Birmingham are a very exciting club to join right now. They are, I mean, they've got the wind in their sails. They've got so much momentum. They're an exciting club with a very excited fan base who I think most are predicting to get back to the Premier League sooner rather than later. If not this season, I think they're just carrying so much momentum. They are, for me, going to be a playoff team this season, and undoubtedly, I think, offer Chuba a better chance at promotion. Probably offer him a better financial package as well. The one thing that would bring him back to the Riverside, I don't think it would be the chance of promotion. I don't think it would be even the money. I think it would just be the romance and the emotion of it all. But at the end of the day, he's a footballer. He'll want success in what is a short career. He's 29. I wouldn't also blame him if he went to Birmingham at all. I think they are just a far more exciting prospect who will give him a much better chance of potential Premier League football or promotion and success this season. So I can't sit here and pretend as much as I would love to see him back in a Boro shirt. And I know he loves Boro fans and he would love to be back. I also would not begrudge him at all if he went to Birmingham City. And honestly, This might be me bursting the bubble. This might be me sticking the pin in the balloon. But I do feel like he will go to Birmingham City. I think Boro will have put together the best package possible. But from the feeling I'm getting, from what I'm hearing, I mean, I've asked around the people I've spoke to, it doesn't sound like Boro are exactly confident that this will get done. It doesn't feel like there's a feeling at the club that it's likely. I think it's a stab in the dark. It's a last ditch attempt to try and do something incredibly special. My gut feeling is telling me it's not going to happen. My gut feeling is telling me he will end up at Birmingham. And I mean, given Boro's summer and the feeling around Boro fans right now, I think the last thing we need is to see one of our most beloved players in recent times joining a fellow championship club. And I think if an image in the next day or two drops of him in blue and white, or blue and gold, Boro fans, I think, God forbid, I mean, we're already down and feeling pretty rubbish about things as it is. It would be just such an added kick to the gut. It's just not what Boro fans need right now. What we need is a big buzz, a big boost, and this would provide it. But I think equally, on the other side of the coin, if he did go to Birmingham and choose them over us, it would be not even a kick in the gut. It'd be a kick in the balls. It would be a kick in the head. I think it would destroy any kind of morale that Boro fans have at the minute towards next season, to which there's not much of anyway. So, yeah, this is toying with my emotions big time, ladies and gentlemen. This could really go one of both ways, and I think if he comes back, it could be amazing. And I'm just instantly going to look forward to next season so much more. And who knows where it could take us. Equally, if it doesn't happen, it could be the biggest blow and kick in the teeth and just the complete opposite of what Boro fans need right now. And it could really, really wreck the morale of Boro's fan base right now. Unfortunately, I'm preparing myself for the latter. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that there is something within Chuba that makes him come back to the Boro. And I guess it is down to him. I guess the ball's in his court now, and we'll see what he decides. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What rules with this one? Your head or your heart? Let me know your feelings for and against in the comment section below. And I guess this is going to be one that moves incredibly quickly. I do feel like there'll be a picture of him in a blue shirt over the next day or two. But if by some incredible chance he does decide to come back to the Riverside, oh boy, it really does change the landscape of Boro's season going forward, regardless of if it's the right deal to do financially or the right deal to do just in general. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already for much more. Can't believe I've just made a video about Chuba Akpom coming back to the Boro. I feel like I've just entered some sort of parallel universe. But we'll see what happens. Dump all of your thoughts and emotions in the comment section below, and I'll see you all in the next one.